Okay, I'm just going to warn you if you don't like crude, then I would leave this video right now. A second. All right. Reality is taking a major shit right now of all that was. So it's like we've had this energetic indigestion a little bit about like what is going on in reality, like the wake up, the indigestion, and now like this movement, this giant bowel movement. And like I'm literally seeing like myself and other coaches like standing with people at the toilet, like trying to take a shit to release all of their old thought forms and beliefs and stuff holding them back, and karma and all this stuff is like ready to be expelled. And one way that we release it is going to the bathroom, taking a big shit. I used to always say you shit to shift, and that is a true statement. Those of you who know, you're with me. It's like energetically, when we make an upgrade, our body has to like slough off and out DNA and like literal like neurons and shit in our brains that used to like make this connection. We actually have like garbage collector cells in our brain that take the no longer used brain pathways and like garbage truck them out of there. So like your old belief that was like, I don't know if I can do this, or maybe I'm sick right now, or you know, it always goes over and over, or so and so did that to me. Like when you stop thinking like that, then those neural pathways, those pieces, they go like dormant, they go latent, and they literally like get scooped up and like pooped out. Okay, so if you're doing like massive upgrades, that translates to you're massively rewiring the brain so that the old pathways of limited thinking and so forth are no longer being used. They're being not only disconnected for lack of use, but they're actually being disconnected, discarded, dumped out, and then the body has to physically get them out somehow. So I highly recommend, when you are feeling like many of you probably are, because we're really close into the depths of the darkness of the winter, which is the death cycle. So many of us are literally walking side by side with death right now as a partner in helping to exit out the old thought forms out of reality. We are standing at that gateway and ushering out the old earth. I believe this is the story as well, um, of the river Styx and the movement across to the underworld. This does not only happen with individuals, but it happens with entire systems. And so it's ushered out, not necessarily as a visible entity, but as energetics. And entities can escort them. In fact, all the entities are welcome and are invited and are escorting the old thought forms out of this reality, because that their job was to keep them there, you see. Like the entities and parasitics and vampires and all these things that we know of, that people have acted like, that we try to distance ourselves from, their jobs were to hold down the old matrix, the old reality, by giving thought forms or keeping you from thought forms of your greatness, to keep patterns running. And we can curse them all we want, but the truth is they were required for that level of engaging reality at that density, at that stage of evolution. And as we are ascending, we are quickly throwing off the tethers of the old that weighted us down, and were assisted by these entities. They are being escorted across. And so we are experiencing a bodily shedding, an energetic shedding, also probably emotional for many people, coming out in different ways. If you can imagine like a blow up doll that maybe just didn't have air in it, maybe had all sorts of substances or whatever. And as that reality is like collapsed, stuff like has to pop through or ooze through or crud out or dissolve or whatever, like go through this process of release. And so that's what's happening in our reality. And that is groovy and cool if you don't mind the crud, if you can see God in the crud too. And this is where we usher in at the end of an era the Agoris, which I stand as one, like this, who sees all of the deep and dark and death and skeletons and bones and all the negativity and things that we have, sees them as part of the one, part of the God, part of the love that have assisted in that cycle that are now being ushered through this like wheel of transformation themselves, because they also get to upgrade and evolve their potential vibratory frequency. So all works together, just like the bacteria and stuff inside our body, as a symbiotic, synergistic relationship. And some are like bugs and so forth that we wouldn't necessarily think we'd want to invite in, but are very much required for the whole process. And especially this one we're talking about, like taking a big cosmic shit right now. So thank you to all the coaches out there who are standing at the helm with the big wad of Charmin, so to speak, or the duvet, and helping move the stuff. And that's how I feel sometimes. And a big shout out also to all of us doing the shedding and the shitting in that way for the wholeness, and helping also to pass through us as we are the old ideas of dis-ease and illness, as some of us taste them on their way out, and give them a big transmutative kiss as they pass our way. Remember to do that if they're passing your way. Your job is to transmute and to give them a kiss, if that's your job. Not maybe needing to get caught up in the dance with them, because you are a cosmic being, Right. Good job, everybody. We're making it.